أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. On Wednesday after Maghrib we talk about Sirah Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, and we were talking about the public phase of da'wah. Jazakallah khair. The public phase of da'wah, which was the start or the beginning of making da'wah in public. After 3 years in making da'wah in a secret phase, Prophet ﷺ going from house to another house, they gather in a place in which nobody knows where are they, just to make this da'wah, to deliver the message of da'wah secretly. And then Allah gave him the order, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, inform your close relatives and start this public phase of da'wah. And it's already started. And when it started, the beginning of the torment and the hurting started with Prophet ﷺ himself in person. They used to torture Prophet ﷺ, they used to hurt Prophet ﷺ, they used to cause these harmful matters to Prophet ﷺ. And we got some examples in the last time when we were talking about different examples that Prophet ﷺ faced, the hardships, the difficulties, all these kinds of trials and difficulties and hard times happened to Prophet himself ﷺ. And today we have some examples of the fellows, the companions of Prophet ﷺ, to see that it happened with Prophet himself in person, it happened to his followers, just to make sure that it happens all the time to people who seek the truthful way of Allah Azza wa Jal, those people who seek the guidance, those people who seek ad-din al-haq, the rightful religion of Allah, the rightful way of Allah Azza wa Jal. Is not going to be easy for them. They're going to suffer. They're going to have these difficulties all the time. At the time of the Prophet, the head of the Ummah, he got it. And the companions, normal people, they got it as well. And in all generations, in all times, they have it as well. The believers, the true believers of Allah, they got hurt all the time. Just to be patient. When you see the suffer of some Muslims today, in the Muslim worlds, you become patient, because this is not the beginning of that hard time. It happened before. The Prophet himself, all kinds of difficulties happened to Prophet ﷺ and happened to companions after him. Just to have a role model, just to have something, gives you some ease, some comfort time, so that you know you're not the first one to have that as well. Today we have these trials as well with Muslims, and this is not accepted in a way or another. With all kinds of people, with Muslims and non-Muslims, all kinds of oppression is not accepted. All kinds of oppression, injustice are not accepted. It is denied, and it is not accepted at all, because a person changes his religion or something that gives any chance to any person to commit such actions of injustice or immoralities or oppression. This is not accepted. It's not accepted here in US. Is not accepted in any Arab land. Is not accepted in any Muslim land around the world. Every person is allowed to practice his religion and practice what he believes in freely, as long as he is respecting others. So this is not accepted at all. We condemn any actions of transgression. We condemn any actions of oppression. This is the beauty of our religion. When you look at these situations, you find that Muslims, they got hurt, especially when they said La ilaha illallah. And the majority of the followers of the Prophet ﷺ, they were some of them, they were weak. They didn't have enough forces to back them and to support them, just like Bilal ibn Rabah, just like Suhaib, just like Ammar ibn Yasir, just like Khabbab ibn al-Arat, and so many other companions of the Prophet. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu is giving us one of these scenes that happened at the time of Prophet ﷺ with the companions of Prophet ﷺ. He said, أول من أظهر إسلامه سبعة. The first want to declare their Islam, that they're Muslims, there were 7 people, 7 companions of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Abu Bakr wa Ammar wa ummuhu Sumayyah wa Suhaib wa Bilal wal Miqdad. So this is one narration that says that those were the most or the first one to declare their Islam, Abu Bakr, Ammar, and his mother Sumayyah, and Suhaib, Bilal, and Al-Miqdad. And some others, in some other narrations we know, like Ali ibn Abi Talib, like Uthman ibn Affan and others, they're Muslims, but they could have been declared their Islam late a little bit, or after those a little bit, or they declared their Islam, but it was conveyed in different narrations. قال ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه فأما رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فمنعه الله بعمه أبي طالب. The Prophet ﷺ got protection because of his uncle Abu Talib, was one of the chief tribes, chief people of the tribe of Quraysh, and they give high respect to him. So we will know in the history and in the biography of the Prophet ﷺ that they were negotiating with the Prophet ﷺ to leave the religion, and they went to his uncle because they know how he loves his uncle, and these negotiations happened with the Prophet ﷺ, and the middle one was Abu Talib, his uncle, and Prophet ﷺ did not accept that. We're going to talk about this inshallah later on, but Prophet ﷺ got some protection because of his uncle, and this protection does not mean the Prophet ﷺ did not see any kind of difficulties. This did not happen. They put the placenta, as we saw last time, they put it on his shoulders. They put the trash of the slaughtered camels, they put it in his back, on his shoulder. They tried to squeeze his neck, and they tied a robe around the neck of the Prophet ﷺ, Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, trying to kill the Prophet ﷺ and assassinate the Prophet. So this protection, it was minor protection, It's not complete protection. This does not mean Prophet ﷺ did not get hurt. It happened. The hurt and the harmful, times and difficulties happened to Prophet ﷺ. But Ibn Mas'ud says he got some protection because of his uncle Abu Talib and his background. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu منعه الله عز وجل بقومه, that his people were strong, his tribe was strong, so he got protected as well. وأما سائرهم, regarding the rest of them, فأخذهم المشركون, the non-believers, the polytheists, they took them. فألبسوهم أدرع الحديد. الدرع, الدرع جمعه أدرع, the shields or the armors. They put these iron shields on them while they are naked, and it's very hot, and it's ironing their bodies, their flesh, eating them, burning them in this desert and in this heat. ألبسوهم هذه الأدرع من الحديد وصهروهم في الشمس. And subhanallah, they left them in the desert under the heat of the sun till they got صهروهم, they melted them inside these shields and in these armors because of the heat of the sun, the heat of the iron shields that they wore them. Subhanallah, very hard the Muslims they're facing. It would be easy for anyone to say, okay, we follow you, we leave this religion, but it's not the matter of the religion. They look at the hereafter, they look at what Allah prepared for them, they look at the result and the outcome. They wait for the success as Allah promised them. They're not looking at this moment that they face it. They know that even if they suffer today, but at the end, al-aqibatu liman? Al-aqibatu lil-muttaqin. The end, the outcomes and the results are for those who are rightful and righteous, who follow Allah's way and become patient. And it doesn't matter if they die or not. Some of them, they left Islam and they pronounced the words of kufr just because of the torturement that they have and the punishment that they have every day. And Allah give them, a license, give them, allowance to do something like this. That He said, "Man kafara billahi min ba'di man illa man ukriha وقلبه مطمئن بالإيمان. يعني those who disbelieved, but they did not disbelieve with their hearts. They just pronounced the words of kufr, and they still Muslims, and they did that because it was very hard for them. They were unable to become patient. They were unable to continue because of the punishment that they faced. So Allah gives them the forgiveness, and He forgive them in this regard, and it becomes, a permission for anyone is facing something like this. But the scholars say that it's better to become patient, even the person if he's facing his fate or the death or the killing, the assassination. And we talked about Abdullah ibn Hudhafa as-Sahmi. If you remember him, Abdullah ibn Hudhafa as-Sahmi, that Sahabi who got seized by and captured by the non-believers army of the Romans, and they tortured him with oil and so on, and they tortured his companions and his friends, and he did not want to leave his religion. And the ruler is giving him some offers that leave your religion and I'll give you a partnership in my kingdom, in my dominions. And he refused. Leave your religion and I will marry you my daughter. You're gonna be a king, you're gonna be a ruler. And he refused, and he's torturing him and so on. And he did not leave his religion. And then at the end of this story, long story short, he said, okay, kiss my head and I'll leave you alone. And he kissed his head, and then he went back and he took all of the captors or the Muslims who were detained under this ruler, and they went back to Umar, and Umar ibn al-Khattab, he stood and he kissed the head of Abdullah ibn Hudhafa, and he said, حَقٌّ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ أَنْ يُقَبِّلَ رَأْسَ عَبْدِ اللَّهِ ibn Hudhafa. It's a duty on every Muslim, it's a must on every Muslim to kiss the head of Abdullah ibn Hudhafa because of what he did. So that's why scholars said to become patient, even if you face your fate, that would become better for you. And if the person is facing his fate, it becomes shahada for him. And then Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man qutila duna dinihi fahuwa shaheed. Man qutila fi sabilillahi fahuwa shaheed." The person who's doing that for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, for the sake of protecting his religion, his principles, his teachings, his Quran, his Sunnah, the religion that came to him, if he's doing that for the sake of Allah, so he is a martyr. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he says, فَمَا مِنْهُمْ إِنسَانٌ إِلَّا وَقَدْ وَاتَاهُمْ عَلَى مَا أَرَادُوا إِلَّا بِلَالٍ. Yani many of them, they pronounced the words of kufr just because of the punishment that they said, but they returned to Allah. They have the permission to do that because of the hard times. Their hearts did not believe, and they were believers. They just pronounced these words to have some relief, and they returned back to the way of Allah Azza wa Jal, except for Bilal. He did not say the word of kufr. He did not say, I'm an unbeliever. He did not pronounce their names of their deities. But Bilal, he had only one word. They torture him. They punish him. They do everything, to make him leave his religion. And he's saying one word, repeating it. He's saying, Ahadun Ahad. He is one. He is one. He's not two. He's not three gods. He is one God. I believed in Him, and my heart believed in Him, and I'll never leave that, even if you kill me, even if you cut me into pieces. And they put the rocks on his back, and they lay him on his belly on this desert and under the heat. And he's saying, Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, till Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, he came and he bought Bilal and he set free Bilal for the sake of Allah, for the sake of, he cost him like 40 ounces of gold. And they said, the non-believers, they said, if Abu Bakr said, I'm not going to pay all of that money, all of that gold to take Bilal, and he would say that I will pay only 1 ounce of gold, we would accept. When Abu Bakr heard him saying that, he said to them, if you ask me to pay 100 ounces of gold, I would pay it to set free Bilal. And this is a great sacrifice. Abu Bakr is seeing his friends, his brothers facing this punishment, and he doesn't say, as long as I'm safe, so I'm okay. As long as I eat and drink, so I'm okay. As long as I have a cover, I have a house, I have a safe family, I'm okay. And we can't say that today when we see our brothers and sisters in Gaza, when we say as long as we're okay, so everything is okay for us. And you look at the Muslims around the world celebrating the Christmas and the New Year Eve and all of this, and they don't care. Even my country back home, they do that. I wondered. I asked my wife, what's going on? What happened to people? What happened to the hearts of people? Where are the hearts of Muslims? When we spend all of that money in these celebrations, which is not religious, and when we do that and we leave our brothers, we don't send them something to eat, to drink, to cover themselves from the rain, to have even a tent, camps, humanitarian ones. I'm not asking you to go and, fight with them. This is not going to happen. But send something that you can do it with some organizations that you trust on them or that and so on. Wallahi, I remember when, and I said this story before, Mahmoud Nuruddin Zinki, the commander of the believers at his time في الدولة الزنكية, and he was the uncle of Salah ad-Din, when the Crusades came to Egypt in the coasts of Dimyat on the Mediterranean Sea. So Mahmoud Nuruddin, he did not eat or drink for 30 days. He was only drinking, he was fasting for 30 days. He lost his weight, he lost his health. I can't eat, I can't feel any kinds of joys. I can't enjoy my time. I can't enjoy my life while my brothers in Egypt, he was in Sham, in Damascus, while my brothers in Egypt are threatened because of the Crusades or their enemies. And he did not eat until Prophet ﷺ came to him and came to the Imam of the Masjid in his dream and said, ask Mahmoud Nuruddin to eat and drink because they will fail and they will come back. And in the next day in Salat al-Fajr, the Imam said, and he had, mahaba. He was, not everyone can speak with him. So he looked at the eyes of the ruler and he said, yeah, Imam, I saw something in my dream. So he said to him, do you want me to talk to you about it, or you're gonna tell me about it? So he said, talk, Imam. So he said, the Prophet ﷺ told me that they're gonna have their freedom and everything will be done, and those crusades, they will fail, and the colonialists, they will come back their homes. And subhanallah, he started to eat after that. Just a feeling to feel your brothers. This is something, I'm not asking you not to eat and drink, but at the same time, pray Salat al-Layl, and Salat al-Layl in which say a lot of dua for your brothers. Every day we have genocide. We celebrate, and in 2025, they have in the killing and the burning and the genocide. Every day they have that. So we have to feel them in this regard, making the dua, supporting them as much as we can. That's what Abu Bakr did. We learned from Abu Bakr. He took his money. Even his father, he blamed him. Abu Quhafa, he blamed Abu Bakr. He said, what are you doing? You spend your money on weak people. You should, even if you think about it, and Abu Quhafa, who was an unbeliever, he became a Muslim at Fath Mecca, the opening of Mecca after the 8th year of Hijrah. And subhanallah, he's blaming his son. I can prevent you from being Muslim, but you're wasting your money. You're wasting your money on spending this money on weak people like Bilal and this and that. And Abu Bakr, when you see at the history of Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr set free so many people. أعتق Abu Bakr 7 of them. Amir ibn Fuhayra, set free Amir ibn Fuhayra, Bilal, Nudayra, Ubays, An-Nahdiyya, أختها, Jariyatu Bani Amr ibn Mu'ammal. A lot of people, Abu Bakr, he goes when he sees them facing this punishment, the torture, he would set free with money. Trading, making a business for the sake of helping his brothers. Today we make the business in a haram way and we don't put it in the halal way as well. Abu Bakr is doing his best in having money to sit and free his brothers and to help them and to support them. And when his father blamed him, he said, no, I do it for the sake of Allah. I'm not doing this to get the protection so that I will help this brother because he's wealthy man. He's from a very honorable lineage and family. So I'll help him because one day I'll need him. But if he's weak, if he's stranger, if he's poor, if he's not that famous, I'm not going to help him because I'm not going to get any benefit from him. This help is not for the sake of Allah. Abu Bakr was helping the weak ones. And he's not looking for something to get as a reward from them. I don't need anything from you. He set free Bilal, and then he set free him for the sake of Allah. After he bought Bilal, he said, you're free for the sake of Allah. I don't need anything from you. And that's why he's spending, he's doing all of that, sacrificing. They suffer, so he sacrifices with money so that he can feel them. And then when his father, he blamed him, he said, I do that for the sake of Allah. And Allah reveals the verses of Surah Al-Layl on Abu Bakr, وَسَيُجَنَّبُهَا الْأَتْقَى الَّذِي يُؤْتِي مَالَهُ يَتَزَكَّى وَمَا لِأَحَدٍ عِنْدَهُ مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى إِلَّا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِ الْأَعْلَى وَلَسَوْفَ يَرْضَى. That he's doing everything for the sake of Allah. He will be protected from the hellfire, and he will be pleased with what Allah prepared for him because of his doing everything for the sake of Allah. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, after watching all of that, he's praising Abu Bakr and saying, Abu Bakr, Sayyiduna, he's our master, he's our chief. وَأَعْتَقَ بِلَالًا سَيِّدَنَا. And he set free Bilal, who is another Sayyid, who is another master, who is another, a chief, an imam. Abu Bakr Sayyiduna, وَأَعْتَقَ بِلَالًا سَيِّدَنَا. You look at Khabbab ibn al-Arat, when he came to Prophet ﷺ, Prophet ﷺ sitting in front of Al-Kaaba, Ya Rasulullah, ألا تدعو الله لنا, ألا تستنصر لنا, don't you make dua for us? They were burning Bilal till his skin and his flesh is melted. Subhanallah, burned because of the torture that he's facing every day. And then Prophet ﷺ, he's giving him the relief that you're not the first, Ya Khabbab, to see that. And this is what wallahi makes us patient. Look at the history. Look at the history. If you have any crisis, look at the Prophet ﷺ. Remember the trials Prophet ﷺ faced. If you have any difficulties, go and read Sirah al-Salihin, the biographies of al-Salihin, the righteous people. They will give you the strength. They will give you the power to continue as a strong Muslim. When you learn that and you teach your kids these biographies, you will become strong always. When you become weak one day, you will remember Khabbab, you will remember Suhaib, you will remember Ammar, you will remember Bilal. I'm nothing comparing to those people. So I'm gonna struggle, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna do my best to continue as a Muslim, to have this religion, to keep myself and my family under this religion, under the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal, the da'wah of the truth. So Khabbab is coming to Prophet ﷺ and he's telling him about what happened to previous nations. When one of them comes, وَيُؤْتَى بِالْمِنْشَارِ فَيُشَقِّ نِصْفَيْنِ, they bring the saw and they cut him into two pieces from the head to the toes, and they cut him into two pieces, and none of them they would leave the religion. And then Prophet ﷺ gives him some of what Allah told him, that you will get it. You will get it. حتى لا يسير الراكب بن صنعاء إلى حضر موت لا يخاف إلا الله أو الذئب على غنمه. This land, all of Arabia, it is going to become Muslim, and you will become safe. You're not going to be afraid from anything, and people will be safe. Even people they're not going to be threatened of anything except for their sheep when they have their herds and they graze and so on. But وَلَكِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ, but you become hasty in this regard. Do not look at the moment that you have. Look at the future. Look at the outcome. Look at the result. What Allah Azza wa Jal prepares for you, that gives you the power, and so on and so forth. With all the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they face these trials, they face these hard times with many of them. Inshallah, next time we're going to have this kind of negotiation that happened between the Prophet ﷺ, or the non-believers tried to make it between them and the Prophet ﷺ to leave the religion. What was the reaction of the Prophet ﷺ in this regard? Who's asking the Prophet ﷺ to leave his religion and to give up his uncle? And we will see the reaction of this scene, inshallah. But next time, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to guide us to the right way, and to give us the power and the strength with the religion of Allah, with the guidance from Allah Azza wa Jal, and to give the brothers and sisters in Palestine and in Sudan and all over the world the relief, and to protect their blood and protect their families, their wealth, their honor, everything they have. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma anji ikhwanana al-mustad'afina fi Palestine. Allahumma innahum hufatun fahmilhum, uratun faksuhum. جياع فأشبعهم، مرضى فداوهم. اللهم تقبل من مات منهم في الشهداء يا رب العالمين، وعليك بعدوك وعدوهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أنجي إخواننا في السودان واحقن دماءهم واحفظ أعراضهم ونساءهم وأموالهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم احقن دماءهم ودماء المسلمين في كل مكان، واحقن دماء المسلمين في أمريكا وفي كل مكان وفي شتى بقاع الأرض يا منان. وأجرنا من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم أحينا مسلمين وتوفنا مسلمين وبعثنا مسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم تب علينا لنتوب. ربنا اغفر الذنوب. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم إنا نسألك من فضلك العظيم، ونسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل، ونسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل يا رب العالمين. وصلى وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين.